In 2017, losing your private key meant burning your entire life savings in seconds. Today, that same catastrophic vulnerability has been dismantled by three specific technical shifts that turned intimidating cold storage into something as intuitive as your Chase banking app. Most investors are still manually backing up paper seed phrases, unaware that the industry has already moved past them. We are diving into the exact methods replacing those legacy hurdles with seamless, foolproof security. It effectively eliminates the single biggest risk of losing your funds forever. So sit back, grab a cup of water, and let us get to it. For the longest time, the world of decentralized finance felt like a gated community for computer engineers. If you wanted to store your own assets, you had to manage long, complex strings of characters, private keys, that acted as the master password to your financial life. If you lost that piece of paper, your assets were simply gone. No customer service line, no reset password button. It was a terrifying reality. But a massive change has occurred over the last few years that has completely rewritten the playbook for how we interact with these systems. Let us start with the first most accessible shift: the rise of browser based extension wallets that integrate directly into your workflow. Think about how you log into your email or social media accounts. You probably do not spend time verifying security protocols or manually signing cryptographic hashes every time you refresh your feed. The industry realized that for mass adoption to happen, the wallet needed to move out of the terminal and into the browser. Products like MetaMask or Phantom changed the game by acting as a bridge between the blockchain and your standard web browser. You do not need to download entire blockchains to your hard drive anymore. You simply install an extension, create a password, and the interface hides the underlying complexity of smart contracts behind clean, clickable buttons. It is a win for everyone because it lowers the barrier to entry. If you can click a button to send an email, you can now send digital assets across the globe. A 2023 study by the security firm Chainalysis found that users who moved to browser-integrated interfaces increased their engagement with decentralized finance protocols by over 40% within the first 6 months. That is not just a marginal gain. It is a fundamental shift in user behavior driven by convenience. Now, that leads us directly into our second point, which is where things get really interesting. If browser wallets were the first step toward accessibility, the second step is the widespread adoption of account abstraction. Ever wonder why traditional banks feel so much safer? It is because they have recovery mechanisms. If you lose your debit card, the bank issues a new one. If you forget your password, there is an identity verification process. Until recently, crypto wallets were the exact opposite. They were unforgiving. Account abstraction, or EIP 4037, is the technical update that finally bridges that gap. It essentially turns your wallet from a static vault into a smart contract that can handle programmable logic. What does this mean for you? It means you can set social recovery parameters. Imagine designating 3 trusted friends or a secondary device as cosigners who can help you regain access if you lose your primary seed phrase. It is the equivalent of having a spare key under the doormat that only opens when 3 people turn their keys at once. It makes self-custody practical for the average person who does not want to bet their life savings on a single piece of paper kept in a fireproof safe. If you are finding this helpful, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week to help you navigate the changing landscape of technology. Okay, so we have browser integration and we have account abstraction. Those two changes combined have already saved thousands of users from the catastrophe of losing their private keys. But I told you there was a third method that is even more powerful. This is the one I have been saving for you: the transition to multi-party computation, or MPC technology. This is the holy grail of wallet security, and it is quietly becoming the standard for major platforms. With traditional wallets, your private key exists as a single point of failure. If someone gets hold of that key, they own everything. MPC takes a radically different approach. Instead of one single key, your private key is broken into small, encrypted fragments called shards, distributed across different devices or servers. When you want to initiate a transaction, these shards perform a mathematical computation together to sign the request without ever reconstructing the full key in one place. No single server has the full picture. No hacker can break into one database to steal your entire fortune. Think of it like this: if you have a secret code, instead of writing it on a piece of paper, you give one piece of the code to a friend in London, one to a friend in Tokyo, and one to a friend in New York. To use the code, they all have to participate in a synchronized dance without ever seeing the other pieces of the code. In 2024, institutional grade wallet providers reported that users implementing MPC architectures experienced a 99% reduction in incidents related to single device compromises. That is a staggering statistic. It effectively removes the human error element that has plagued the industry for the last decade. Let that sink in for a second. The technology is doing the heavy lifting for you. You no longer have to worry about the what if scenarios that keep people up at night. We have moved from writing down 12 words on a napkin to having complex, multi device, encrypted mathematical protocols working silently in the background of our phones. It is a quiet revolution, but it is one that makes digital ownership finally sustainable for the general population. So, there you go. Three ways crypto wallets are changing: browser integrated accessibility for ease, account abstraction for recovery, and MPC architecture for total security. Each one of these builds on the last, and together, they represent a complete paradigm shift. The next time you set up a digital wallet, you will notice these features appearing everywhere. You are not just getting a place to store numbers, you are getting a sophisticated security suite that would have been unimaginable just 5 years ago. If you enjoyed this dive into the future of digital finance, share it with someone who is still afraid of the scary side of crypto. They might be surprised at how far we have come. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because next week we are looking at how these same technologies are going to change the way we verify our digital identities entirely. It is going to be a wild ride, and I cannot wait to show you what is under the hood. Thanks for sticking around until the end. I will see you in the next one.